What a moment. Just what a moment. Sometimes it really is worth stepping aside from all of the bigger scope scenarios and condensing something in sports to one beautiful moment. Good morning to you. Good, and I do mean good, Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday if you're into football and or baseball. I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Penguins 6, Red Wings 5. Stop complaining. The same guy who was hurting you in the third period lifted you like nobody else in OT. With Erik Karlsson blasting, and I do mean blasting, raising his stick for a slap shot from pretty much point-blank range to bury the puck behind Alex Leon. And, wow, he drops to his knees, holds both hands over his head. The crowd goes berserk. The roof came off PPG Paints Arena in that moment. Nothing any of us, myself included, could have conceivably anticipated as recently as, what are we talking about here? 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago? But there he was. He was responsible, I felt, for Detroit's 4th and 5th goals that ate up yet another 2-goal late lead for these Penguins, who are going to continue having this problem until they don't. But the reason that you get a Karlsson is because he's capable of stuff like what we saw in the overtime. He can do things that other players can't do. He can create offense that other players can't. And I'm including all of the forwards. And I'm going to tell you one other thing about Karlsson, because it's more than likely that this episode of this very program would have been one that was criticizing him right now, because he would have cost this team dearly had he not bounced back the way he did. But he cares. He really cares. He's really invested. Don't ever see, whenever he screws up, within his conduct some kind of laissez-faire or I'll let somebody worry about it kind of attitude or approach. He simply thinks about offense all the time. He was born that way. He's been in this league since 2005. He's never changed. He's not about to change now at age 33. You get what you get with number 65. Now, I talked with Karlsson after the game about the winning goal. And when you listen to this, listen more for the intonation, listen for the passion than even what it is that he's saying.
Who's always looking for the extra pass, the extra play. What's going through your mind in that situation?
There's no one to pass it to.
There's no one to pass it to.
No, I wasn't really planning on stepping in, but they played it kind of wide, and I think their guy screened the goalie, and I just figured why not. I think I was owed one, so I took my chances, and it worked out.
What about slapping and center wristing there? What about slapping and center wristing there?
I don't know. Sometimes when they don't go in, the harder you shoot, the more chances or opportunities you have. So I just figured I'd shoot it as hard as I can and try and keep it, just above the pad. It's usually a easier controlled shot, and won't leave a huge bounce or rebound in case it doesn't go in.
I also asked Rickard Rakell, his very good friend, fellow Swede, and all that other stuff. Oh, by the way, Rakell was on the rink for that goal as well and almost scored it before Karlsson got to it. I asked him about Karlsson and what makes him special.
Just him holding on to the puck, and it means that, like myself, I'm just trying to pick up speed and be ready to attack when I get it, because he's so good at getting guys to come
through.
Yeah, getting it through and getting people to come close to him, and that gives me room. And then I thought I had a little jump on the guy. I think it was a forward. So I tried.
When you did this to go around him.
I tried to go around him, and then obviously Sid jumping on the rebound there. there and getting it and finding Carl, and I got a good look from it behind. It was a nice knuckler.
So I said to him, you're always looking for the extra play, the extra pass. And I said, what happened? He goes, there was no one to pass it to.
I was right behind him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You were coming in behind as like a support.
Yeah. No, it was just so nice to win.
Yeah, that's really
So
cool.
nice. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Like it has never been any easy games against these guys. Like they're good
for years now. Yeah.
No, they're good off the rush and holding on to pucks and getting us stretched out, and makes us a little bit vulnerable at times. But it was. We scored when we needed to.
And there it was. They got their 2 points. Yeah, they gave the Red Wings one on the way out the door too, but they got their 2 points. And they are back without flooding your brain this early in the morning with all kinds of, if so-and-so wins, then so-and-so can make this, and if these teams tie, forgetting all of that. What you need to know about the wild card race, or about the playoff race really in general, since it also involves third place in the Metro, is that the Penguins are now in control of their destiny. They are in a playoff spot. Now, that's far from being in the playoffs. They've got the Bruins, Predators, and the Islanders ahead. The Islanders won in overtime last night. The Islanders just will not stop losing, but maybe because of that, the Islanders won't matter. And the teams that you really have to beat are the Bruins and the Predators. I don't know. We could drive ourselves nuts talking about this stuff. I can tell you that this place, both the bowl, the crowd at the arena, and then down on into the locker room was unlike anything I'd experienced in that building in some time, in far too long, actually. And I can also share with you that there are leaders of this team who just sat there afterward, one of them having been Sidney Crosby with 3 assists to cross over into all kinds of additional new amazing achievements. On this night, 1,000 assists was reached, and he additionally, almost as an oh by the way, cracked the top 10 of the NHL's all-time scoring list right there alongside Phil Esposito. He sat there, Sid did. This was after his formal interview sessions. Just looking around, just taking in the scene. You never know what it is that he's thinking. You never know, whatever. And I sat with him for a little while like this, and again, just some informal conversation and whatever, continuation of things that we were talking about the other night in Toronto. Petey DeFazio comes along. He's one of the equipment managers with the puck that was the 1,000th assist puck, and asks if I can take a picture of the two of them together, commemorating the moment, as the equipment staff will always do. And you could just see there's something there. There's something there with Sid. He really, really, really wants this. And he can't be making that clear to the rest of the room. And you're going to have to trust me that Karlsson is part of that. Karlsson is very much a part of that. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from my man Jedi, who says, DK, 5 months of frustrating hockey culminating with 1 month of spectacular playoff-like atmospheres. My heart meds are fully restocked. I love this so much. I love this message so much. Look, I don't know that any of us is in any kind of told you so position, myself included. A lot of people had a lot of different viewpoints about where this franchise was. What did you say here? 1 month. 1 month ago. Let's go with that as a time frame. And almost all of us, by the time they returned from that Newark, Dallas, Denver trip, were ready to just rocket this entire roster to the moon, and especially the head coach. And in my case, the GM. And what's happened since then at least makes me feel good about one thing that I'd been bringing up throughout. And that was that the playoffs matter. There's always a value to getting into the playoffs. You're always a better organization for having made the playoffs and participated in the playoffs than if you don't. If you don't, then you stay the Red Wings for a long time. You stay the Sabres for a long time. You stay the Blue Jackets for a long time. There's a reason those teams, by and large, with very few exceptions over the years, don't get better, because they never have to cross that playoff threshold where they have to raise their game like this. Now, I'll give the Wings credit, meaning as far as last night goes. I thought they competed really hard. They can't defend to save their lives. Not that the Penguins can either, certainly not with a lead or late in a period. But they are who they are for a reason, and so are those other teams. You don't want to get comfortable with being out of the playoffs. You do not get to see this version of a Drew O'Connor, of a Jack St. Ivany, who, by the way, is growing right in front of our eyes way more than he would if these games were just washouts. And well, we're also seeing Sid do all of this. And this has always been Sid's environment. This is where Sid's comfortable. It's his natural habitat. He's already in the playoffs, in his head, every game. And he's going to do all the stuff that you saw him doing in this one again tomorrow against the Bruins. Then he's going to do it against the Predators when they come to town on Monday. And then he's going to do it up on Long Island. This is what he exists for. And every opportunity that any of us has to watch him do his thing, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear about draft picks. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins, and we will do another one of these on Monday.